I failed over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed. Michael Jordan once said that, and I'm saying this. Welcome to High and Low. Good day and good night. Welcome to the High and Low Basketball Podcast. This is episode number 100 and Weber, aka episode number 104. 4 is the number worn by arguably Fab 1 of Michigan's legendary Fab 5, Chris Webber. Michigan's Fab 5 changed not only college basketball, but they changed the game. They changed the culture of the game. In the 90s, it was common to see high school teams everywhere, draped in oversized uniforms, bald-headed hoopers with black Hirachis on black socks. Hey, listen, it started with the Fab 5, led by Detroit's own and the NBA Hall of Famer, Chris Webber. His NBA career he had some exciting moments, but I feel like Chris Webber didn't fulfill his potential. He didn't reach his potential because of the Lakers. I'm just going to leave it at that. Hey, listen, I'll find a way to circle back to C-Web later because maybe, we need to get into our intros. Because my name is Ike Amaechi, and today's starting lineup is Ugo, Mitch Orsatti, Sean Khan, and Stephen Leslie. Around here, we live by the strict code governed by the High and Low Life Society, which means we talk about basketball, especially and specifically the NBA. And we talk about it at any time, anywhere, north, south, east, west, high, and low. This week on High and Low, we're talking about the second round of the NBA playoffs, specifically our love-hate relationship with this round. We'll also get into some NBA awards talk now that all winners have been announced. I'm asking these guys to grade the winners. Just grade the winners. Don't grade the selections. Not the players, but just grade the selections. But stay tuned for all of that. Before we lock in, let's check in for episode number Weber. Hugo, Mitch, Steven, and Sean are here to talk hoops. So we've all been watching the games every night, including tonight. That's why Hugo's messaging in the Discord, in the group chat, because he's all excited about what just happened in the game. So does all this basketball make you want to go out and play, or are you just content with spectating?
Oh, I'm content to watch. My knees are not the same no more, so I'll watch, point, and laugh at people and heckle.
Is there anything wrong with your arms? You can still shoot.
Get off your knees then.
Boom. Bam.
Wow.
I was gonna say I'm having the same issue as Hugo, but I'm glad I didn't.
Yes.
Steven would have burned me too.
Yeah.
Most get off your
podcaster
knees.
in the business.
Whoa.
Wow. Moving on. Hey, listen. On that note, Hugo, Steven, Sean, Mitch, I appreciate your time this week. Thank you for joining me. Listeners, High and Low Lives, thank you for joining us for yet another installment of the High and Low Basketball Experience. Another week, another episode, more NBA, some more High and Low. This week in NBA history, it was all about the MVP. Legends of the game, top 5 guys were given MVP trophies this week. On May 18th, 1998, Michael Jeffrey Jordan was named most valuable player by the association. It was his 5th MVP, tied for second most with Bill Russell. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar holds the honor of taking home the most MVP trophies 6 times. That's crazy. 6 times, man. Personally, I think Jordan should have won it the years that Charles Barkley won and when Karl Malone won. No disrespect to Chuck. Just Chuck.
Thank you. Very nice.
That would have left MJ with 7, which is unfathomable. 7 MVPs. There would be no LeBron versus MJ talk if that was the case. Anyway, the other legend to be named MVP this week, the focus of HBO's Winning Time, arguably the greatest Laker of all time, the man Steven refers to as a chatty patty, the gentleman who was right about Rob Pelinka all along, Irvin Magic Johnson. Well, he won his first MVP, becoming the first guard in 23 years to take home the distinct honor as the league's best. The league's most valuable. Magic
Nice.
would win 2 more. More importantly, right, Steven? Magic won 3 Finals MVPs. Right? That's more important than the regular season MVP, right? Apparently,
100%.
Yeah, there you go. Not conference Finals MVPs, but Finals MVPs. So this brings up an interesting little tidbit. What do you guys think of the league's introduction of conference Finals MVPs? What's that all about? What you think? Opinions, man. Opinions. Takes.
There's just too many participation trophies now. Just one too many. We don't need it. No one asked for it. And here you go. Someone's just going to collect something, put it on their counter, and just forget about it.
I think there have been some people asking for it, and it's the butthurt fan bases of players who don't win actual awards. I'll just leave that there.
Wow.
Could you imagine having an argument with like me and you were arguing, and then I'm like, well, your player didn't get an Eastern Conference MVP. like you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
well,
but that's okay because he
just
got traded and he won Western Conference MVP. So what?
Yeah,
who cares? Who cares?
Listen. My guy is a top 10 guy because he won 3 straight Eastern Conference Finals MVPs and 2 straight Western Conference.
Yeah, the only player. Yeah, then there's going to be a set. The only player to log 3,000 minutes and win 2 Eastern Conference and 1 Western Conference MVP Finals in the history. So he must be the best player. No, enough.
Oh man.
Yeah, and they're already they obviously have already been doing this for a long time in Major League Baseball, and I'm pretty sure you could ask like most hardcore baseball fans who were the ALCS and NLCS MVPs for the last 20 years, and nobody would know. So
nope.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, you'd guess at the best player in the league at the time and get it right sometimes, and that's as close as you get.
Yeah.
Well, this is not baseball.
Baseball is way more random too, right? Because it's just like whoever's hot in that moment. It's like rarely the best player on the team.
Yeah. Go ahead, Hugo.
I was gonna say something about baseball, but I realized this is not a baseball podcast. Yeah, I agree. I don't really understand. Like, I think the one thing that the NBA sort of had above everybody else was the sort of exclusivity of the championship. Like, you do whatever you need to do during the season. Yeah, you have a couple of individual awards sprinkled here and there, but playoffs, there's only 2 things that matter: championship, Finals MVP. And even the Finals MVP, we've debated this, a long time ago, if it's worth anything or not worth anything. I
think it's worth the most. I'm on side now.
Swayed.
There you go.
I'm swayed.
Yeah, swayed.
I'm swayed.
I mean, if this helps
it's worth something.
Yeah, if this helps something. If these awards help players get paid, I guess. But I mean, the way that the collective bargaining agreement is set up now, I mean, like, I'll be honest with you, players have a stupid amount of loopholes to fall into to get paid. So I don't really know what the point of this of these awards are. Again, it's probably going to be judged by the media, so people are going to complain and cry about it, like Joel Embiid setting shade at Bill Simmons. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a grand scheme for it to generate more money for the NBA, then sure, why not? But it's too much. I mean, even the awards that they have now that we know about, there's a whole crap load of other awards that we don't know about that they throw out there. So it's like, why? Yeah. Like,
well,
is it necessary?
What awards don't we know about?
Yeah, I was gonna say, but
most sportsmanlike and all that stuff. Yeah,
community person and all that. Like, come on,
best teammate.
Yeah.
The best teammate award.
That's a real thing.
No,
I think Drew Holiday won that one.
And I was like, so what did he do? I just want to know what he did.
He gave the most high fives. That's the Steve Nash award.
It's not necessary.
You want to know why I kind of swayed? Because like the 6th best player in the world just won MVP this year. They were in the league, so it's like probably not that important anymore.
Talk about it now. This is your time. Talk about it now. Talk about it now.
Listen, man.
6?
Listen. Wow.
Mitch, you gonna let him say that? If I said he was the second,
no, I said talk about it now. I got some locked, loaded, and ready to go.
That's not
Get
fair.
your shots off now.
That's not fair.
Okay, listen. Before we move on, I just want to say that Ugo, I think you touched on something there. I think you did, because this is all about. I think this might be about incentives. It's just adding another incentive in the contract. Like players have the All NBA incentives. They got the award incentives. This is just another one. If Jason Tatum, if you are able to win a conference finals MVP, then you will get a $1.5 million bump in your salary for in that particular year, or something like that.
But this is the problem, though. What's the biggest problem that the NBA is facing right now? It's not about people's performance in the playoffs. It's people's performance during the season. So
yeah, but they kind of solved that with the play-in.
Not really. There's still players taking games off, load management, et cetera, right? Primetime games where you're not having your superstars in those primetime games. So
blame AAU for that. That's not. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that people would tune out season to season. People would usually tune out by maybe the 55, 65 game, like after the All-Star break.
Yes.
Soon, maybe a few weeks after the All-Star break, people start to tune out because it's like, okay, by then you know exactly who the front runners are and who's not going to be making the playoffs at all, right? But now with the play-in,
it's exciting.
You have it's still pretty exciting up until the final game of the season, So they've kind of solved that in a sense, but hey, that's just my opinion. But this is NBA history, man. So that's a little something for the NBA history nerds.
Just a little something. A little something.
Little something. Things are certainly happening in the NBA today, so let's talk about it.
Let's talk about something important.
Have a listener question. This one is from Langston in Salem, Massachusetts. Shout out to the state of Massachusetts, from Cambridge to Boston to Salem.
God. Every time.
Hey, listen, man. We don't know. Maybe they're Celtics fans, maybe they're not. But shout out to you. This one is from Langston. What have you loved and hated most about these 2022 NBA playoffs? Let's start with you, Mitch.
I'm the type of person who likes to start with what I hated most. It's just who I am. Like my esteemed lowlife Sean Khan, I have hated the discourse around refereeing this playoffs. That's not to say that I think they've done a perfect job, because they haven't. But the echo chamber of nonsense is deafeningly annoying. Like, you can't scroll through any social media, you can't listen to any podcast or watch any kind of sports highlight or talk show without hearing about it. And it's kind of become like not so much about what I hate about the NBA playoffs, it's what I hate about media in general. It's just like a never-ending echo chamber about the things that suck about the thing that you enjoy. And that has now started to seep into the NBA, and it makes me a little bit sad.
It is quite sad.
But I will say the thing that I've loved was Joel Embiid getting eliminated. That's been the thing I love so much the most, I think.
Joel.
On May 12th, specifically on May 12th. That's been a nice little touch.
Did you like when he eliminated your Raptors?
Wow.
My Raptors, Sean?
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Mute
I
that
said
man.
yours.
Wow.
Mute him.
Just
Yeah,
so you
no, that's
know.
okay.
Wow.
That's okay. Found
What's-
money for the
what's-
Raptors and another May 12th elimination and no MVP for Embiid. I'll take that.
Sean's a Miami fan, man. Just don't rely on him to have your back.
Oh, never. Never.
Miami fan this week.
Ugo is the only one who consistently has my back. Consistently, I will say.
Yeah, and he's inconsistently
He's also the
rooting for teams.
yeah. I was going to say he's also the
No,
one
it's-
consistently.
It's a bit of a fallacy. It's a bit of a like mesh web here, but I'll take what I can get.
Who else wants to jump on this? Sean?
Yeah, I'll jump on it. So I'll start with what I've hated as well, just because it's already been touched on. But outside of Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving, who I've pretty much hated watching and hearing about them the whole playoffs. But yeah, I mean, I too have hated hearing all of the teams and the media and the fans complaining about all the reffing. It's literally the same thing every year in every sport, at every level of sport. No one is ever satisfied with the refs. Is the NBA reffing uniquely bad right now? Probably. I actually noticed it more when I was watching Team USA at the Olympics. The international, Team USA had to adjust to the way the international refs were reffing the game, but those refs were making the right calls. Like there's a lot, like they're calling a lot of travels. There's a lot of unwarranted turnovers that the Team USA players weren't being used to being called. But the calls are right. So there is definitely something wrong with the way I think the rules are being interpreted for the NBA refs.
But Sean, what wasn't it the loudest it's been? Like the loudest you can remember it? About the talk about.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, but while I don't blame people for complaining about the refs, I think it's being called both ways for the most part. You can show me examples of bad calls in individual games, but I think in the big picture it does even itself out. Nothing is really going to change it at this point. Also, I don't think the refs are going to decide who the winner of a series is going to be. They may decide a big moment in a game here and there, but I think the best team is going to win the series regardless of the reffing.
Anyway, since Sean touched on it, the thing that I loved and hate, they're the same thing during these playoffs, and it's Ja Morant. Yeah, so I like his competitiveness, his layup package. He tweets after the games and his approach to every game. It's fun for me to watch. He's dancing and all that stuff while the game's in play. But I hate that every possession to him is a track meet. He's always sprinting down the court, and then it gives the other team...
Derrick Rose, right?
Yeah, it gives the other team extra possessions to catch up. No matter what lead you have, I'm seeing sometimes the shot clock's at 24 seconds, they score or they miss, and there's 20 seconds left on the shot clock. And then the other team, whether it was Minnesota or Golden State, they have enough time to catch up. And he just has to remember, like we said, his team was 22-5 without him in the regular season. They're a pretty good team defensively and a good unit. And Steven Adams plays when he doesn't play. And it's just they're good with him. They're good without him. There has to be a way where they can work together. And it's not working together because it's the Ja Morant show. The first round was about his dad, but now it's a Ja Morant show. So that's what I love.
He'll get there. It's youth, I think, right?
The reason why
he's got to find his slowdown gear.
The reason why he won't get there is because he keeps getting hurt, and I have a feeling that he's going to become Rose or even worse than Rose injury wise before he can get there.
I don't know if you can get much worse than what happened with Rose.
Brandon Roy.
Oh, that's true. No comeback.
Zion Williamson.
That was genetics, though.
Calm down. Ja Morant's an addict. And what I mean by that...
A junkie, almost.
He's a junkie, yes.
Yeah.
But he gets buckets in a way that gets a rise out of the crowd. He gets a reaction. He loves that. I think he just wants to get it again and again and again. Give me more. Put it straight into my veins. And eventually he'll learn that that's not the best way. That won't win you a championship. That won't get you to 15 years in the league, maybe 20. He has to slow down. He has to slow down.
And his body's probably going to tell him that too the next year or two if it hasn't already.
It told him these playoffs.
Exactly.
Right now. Yeah. Ugo, we gotta jump to the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
We talked about it before, and after watching this week, it's starting to drive me batty. All the bloody reviews, every single little thing is a review. And then I'm not seeing very many flagrants being, the ones that baffle me are the reviews where they come back and they say, there was no infraction on the play. What? What are you looking at then? Right. So they got to clean that up. They got to figure out something with that. Maybe they retroactively fine people or I don't know what, but you got to stop doing it in the middle of the games. It's just ridiculous. What have I liked this playoffs? Okay, I'll go in a little bit of a different direction, and I'm sure Mitch will appreciate this.
Why Why Mitch? Why not the rest
Mitch
of us?
will
Why be so
appreciate this.
exclusive?
Let
Joker-
the man
Why
have
be
my
so
back.
exclusive?
Come on.
Joker,
Come on.
Joker
But why be so
receiving
exclusive?
Joker receiving his MVP while riding a horse amongst his family. I don't think
He
I've
rode.
ever
He rode. He did not ride the horse.
Ooh,
He was
Riding in
being
a
pulled.
carriage.
He was
carriage,
riding in
whatever
a
you want to
cart.
call it. I don't know. That's probably one of the most unusual MVP ceremonies, or whatever you want to call it, that I've ever seen. I think the family was singing some song. I don't know what it was, but it just.
He got his first MVP that way too.
Oh, he did. Well, I wasn't paying attention then. But yeah, that's.
You know what, Hugo? I don't appreciate it.
This
Don't step where you don't know. Come on.
But
now.
Jokic winning a regular season award is your favorite
what-
thing about the
in the
playoffs?
playoffs. Crazy, man.
He's
See,
getting
man?
the award
Hugo.
during the playoffs.
Mute this man.
Getting the award
That's
during the
that's
playoffs.
definitely
Getting
a
the
different
award
direction.
during
You
the
did say you were
playoffs.
going in a different direction. You just
Exactly.
went the wrong direction.
I go my direction, you go yours. Don't worry, I'm good.
We zig, you go zag.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Doesn't Zach? He
All
just
right.
jumps on Mitch.
Oh, whoa.
goodness. Pause.
Oh, whoa,
Pause.
whoa.
Hey, just a reminder to listeners, if you want to leave a question for us, please DM us on Instagram at Get High and Low, TikTok at More High and Low. You can leave a written question or you can leave an audio note.
Let's give it one more try. Let's get back in the groove.
It's time to sew this segment's eyelids open and squeeze lemons into those sockets until they pool.
Oh, man.
Those eyeballs are submerged in citrus. Coming up next,
Damn.
we're grading the NBA award winners. Yes, we are. We'll be right back with More High and Low. This moment is brought to you by High and Low listeners. This week we had listeners share their all second round playoff team, basically the best players at their positions in this second round of the NBA playoffs. We heard from Marcus in California, Pennsylvania. Hey, shout out to Cal U in PA. Almost went to school there. Nice campus. Very nice campus. Anyway, Marcus' picks are as follows. At the guard positions, he's got Luka Doncic and Klay Thompson. Wow. Okay. And at the forward positions, it's got Jason Tatum and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Great picks. And at the center, I mean, it's obvious. Joel Embiid. I mean, he's going home, but he was definitely the best center in the second round. Hey, Marcus, thank you very much. Appreciate this. Listeners, let us know who your five are on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Do it all. Hey, thanks again for listening to the show. And let's get back to High and Low. Welcome back to the High and Low basketball experience. Yes, because we experienced some ridiculousness. I'm just gonna say that ridiculousness during the break. Man, respectfully, gentlemen, respectfully. Listen, I'm Ike Amaechi, and I'm here with Ugo, Sean Khan, Stephen Leslie, and Mitch Orsatti. It's that time of year when the final most prestigious honor is awarded to the league's best. Sorry, the league's most valuable. This year, that honor was given to Nikola Jokic. Yoke to his closest.
Yoke.
Yoke. That means no awards, no more awards. That's the final. That's the last one given out. So we can look at all the winners and place judgment on those who voted for them by grading their selection. Yes, we're gonna grade the selection, not the winners. So we'll go award by award, and we'll go around the table for grades, starting with the Rookie of the Year. Scotty Barnes was named the Rookie of the Year for 2021-2022. How would you grade this selection? Let's start with Mitch.
Oh, A+.
Of course.
No, but not just of course. I think it was close, and it was closer than it should have been. Mobley had like really nice numbers at the beginning of the year, and Cade came on later in the year. But I think Mobley kind of got a little bit exposed when Jared Allen went down. His numbers plummeted when he wasn't apparently playing next to a far superior defender. Whereas Scotty just kind of kept it consistent and guarded 1 through 5 and like oftentimes 1 or 5, which is crazy, and was a better scorer than people anticipated. And excuse my language here, you can bleep me if you want. Magic Johnson said, I see a lot of my game in Scotty Barnes. So I think that's enough. I think that's enough.
He's just trying to get Scotty to LA. Don't worry about that.
I hate that I never thought about that. But now that you said it, I want to take it. All right, sorry.
Mitch, what are you doing, man?
Are you new?
I'm caught up in the hype, man. Damn.
You brought it up. I didn't want to bring it up.
A plus. Next.
Okay, so Rookie of the Year, Scotty Barnes. Sean, what do you think, man? What's your grade for that one?
Yeah, I got A++. But again, I'm also biased, but how can you not love Scotty Barnes in Toronto? Masai really knocked it out of the park with that pick. I think Mobley was equally as deserving, but I think the Raps finishing higher in the standings was the catalyst.
He played like 500 or 700 more minutes too than Mobley did.
Right, yeah. So if Mobley won, I would have given it an A+, but Barnes winning gives it an A++.
You ever got an A++ in school?
Yes.
Great feeling.
Yeah. Amazing feeling. Is it a legitimate grade though, by the way?
Absolutely not.
No.
Okay. Just want to check.
Pure ego stroke. That's all it is.
Absolutely. Hugo, what's your grade?
I got to go with Scotty Barnes. I'll give it an A+. Especially since, I wanted Jalen Suggs, but, obviously, what the hell do I know?
GM skills, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, stellar. Yeah, like just simply for the fact, like Raptor Nation was like not happy about Scotty Barnes. A couple of handfuls were like raving him, but everybody else was just like, no. Like I've said it before. This felt like when we picked JV over Kemba Walker. Right?
I said we.
We. And Scotty did have a little bit of luck because I think had Cade played the full season, I think he would have been the consensus Rookie of the Year. But too bad, so sad.
But Cade was bad too, even when he first came in. Like he was bad to start the year.
Bad on a bad team.
I'm just gonna say this, from an outsider's perspective here. I think if Jalen Suggs was drafted to the Raptors, perhaps he'd be the Rookie of the Year.
Nope.
Because I think the Raptors had a lot to do with Scotty's success this year.
I mean, yes, but
I'm going to say that.
Yes, but also no.
What?
Yes, but also no.
Okay. So you half agree with me.
I half agree with you in the sense that Jalen Suggs would have been better if he didn't play for Orlando. That's where I stop.
Absolutely. And he would have been really good if he played for Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Middle. I'll meet you in the middle, but nowhere further than that.
Interesting. That's a lot further than you were beginning of the year. Steven, how you grade this one? Let's get the truth here.
Okay, the truth is
what the hell? What the hell?
This guy, look at these guys.
He's nervous.
These guys were like, we had such a great season,
guys. That's just Hugo. Only Hugo said we.
It's homers over here, man. Let's go.
Yeah, I give the Scotty Barnes Rookie of the Year an A+.
Hey, eat it. Eat it.
At the draft, I liked Suggs. He had the name and he had the shot. So I was like, you need that type of player to be on the Raptors. I was totally wrong. I was told I was wrong then too. And, my eyes were always on Jalen Green as the number 1 overall pick. So I compared Green to Barnes the entire season and it turned out a flop. So yeah, A+ for the Raptors. That was a good pick.
There you go.
I just want to jump in real quick. I rate Steven for always bringing the truth. You said it before and I questioned it. That's the truth. He owns up. He owns up. And I appreciate that.
There you go.
I appreciate that about you.
There you go. I'm gonna put the applause in there for that one. let's move on to Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart. This is going to be a difficult one for some folks on this podcast.
Is it?
Because you have to grade the selection, not the player. All right. So Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart. How would you grade this selection?
I'm gonna go A+++ because
so wrong.
I'm a big Marcus Smart fan. I think I'm a little bit less of a fan after some crucial mistakes down the stretch.
Yeah, that's his first set of
I don't
crucial
wanna-
mistakes. What's wrong?
I don't
with
want to kick the man while he's down. I know a few of you guys will, so I'll let you do that. Not only do I appreciate what Marcus brings to the defensive end, it was really good to see a guard win it after 26 years, which was kind of ridiculous if you ask me. Guards I think are currently doing more on the defensive end than big men, especially in today's perimeter-based NBA game. So I hope we don't.
It's questionable.
Yeah, but it's not unquestionable. I
don't know what that means.
That means
I'm
nothing,
about to
Red
go
Cook.
on. But I just hope we don't go another 26 years before we see a guard win it again, because I feel like just by default the voters have been going with big men. They'll pick the 2 or 3 best big men just because they have defensive rebounds, which a lot of those rebounds are just theirs by position.
No.
Whereas
Oh my
guards-
God! Throw it to me next, please.
Listen, come on, you can't say a guard hasn't been deserving.
Do you think
least being
defensive
in that
rebounding determines defensive player of the year? Come now.
Go back and see how many times defensive player of the year has also been the leader in defensive rebounds.
Oh my God!
Dwight Howard every single
That is
year.
called happenstance, is what you call that.
I'm not. Okay, listen. I'm sure they're still looking. The voters are still looking at that. That's not necessarily mean they're a great defensive player, but that is a criteria that the voters are considering.
Dennis Rodman?
No, it is not. Oh my God!
Of course, it is. What do you mean?
Rebounding
They're
is
looking
not
at stats.
a factor. Rebounding
They're
is
looking at
not
they're
a factor.
looking at defensive rebounding. They are.
Wrong.
It's
No.
it goes
wrong.
hand in hand with the winners. How could it not be a factor?
Because rebounding is not a factor in defense.
What do you mean? Defensive rebounds are a huge factor in defense. What are you talking about? You eliminate the
God.
possession.
Defensive rebounds end the possession.
It's a huge factor. It's like the only factor. Like,
It is not. Oh my God! Is the only factor? Are you sure?
well,
Not
it's
the only
the most
fa- not
important
the only
factor. If
factor.
you
It's a very
taking the
important
ball away from that team is the reason why you're playing defense. That's
I think
one way to take
I
it
think
away.
you're way overinflating that. I promise you, it is not the determining factor of defensive player of the year. I promise.
It's definitely not the determining factor, but it is a factor.
not.
Whereas my point being is that guards don't get those opportunities, so it takes away from them getting
Right.
some votes. I think.
Can I hop in?
Unless you're Russ.
Can I hop in here?
Yeah.
Unless you're Russ.
Yeah.
Can I hop in?
Go ahead,
I'm
go
giving it F++. The
F minus.
the reliance
Plus, yes.
the reliance that guards have in the defensive game is that if they get blown by, they have a backline defender to guard for them. That is why the big man is most important on defense. I'm not saying that there shouldn't have been a guard who should be recognized. I think Tony Allen should have been recognized as a defensive player of the year. I absolutely think that. But Marcus Smart is the wrong choice here. And I think there's like 5 guys who should have been selected ahead of him. Terrible choice. F. You want to go minus? Sure. F minus. Terrible choice.
Would you say Rudy?
I would say
God.
Rudy. I would say
I
Bam.
hope
I
Rudy
would say
never wins
Jaren.
ever again.
I think there are 3 big men
Bam,
who should
yes.
have got and Joel. I think there are 4 big men who should have got it before Marcus Smart got it. And then I think there are 2 guards who should have got it before Marcus Smart.
I think he
think-
was also a factor of being the best defensive player on the best
I
defensive team.
also don't think that's true.
Al Horford's a
I-
great defender too.
I think he's the
I don't think he's
4th.
the best
I think he's the 4th best defender on that team.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Jason Tatum, Al Horford,
Ridiculous.
Robert Williams, and then Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart
Okay.
is his reputation.
Exactly.
I think his reputation is that he's a
Exactly.
good defender.
That dude is a fraud.
So you're saying he tricked the NBA?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
But not you.
Scammer.
He's a scammer, yeah. Little
Alright.
TJ. He's a scammer.
I like it.
All right, let's get some other grades on Marcus Smart. It's a DPOY.
Depending on the day, he can get a C for Celtic or B for Boston. As long as it wasn't Rudy Gobert, I don't give a damn.
Oh, you had an opportunity there. As long as it wasn't Gobert, I don't care. You could have just dropped that one. In. Okay, all right. Ghost Rider.
Fix it in post.
Take it back.
Take it back. Just rewind it.
Yeah.
No.
Go ahead.
I don't want to say his name again.
Action.
I don't want to say that guy's name again.
Why not?
Yeah, he met his quota already.
As long as it's not Rudy Gobert, Steven, don't care. All right. You go. What's your grade?
I gotta go along with like this is an F. Like, I mean, statistically, this is probably one of the lowest votes for a defensive player of the year in a long time. I think the only one lower than that was Kawhi Leonard with 29%.
Wow.
You know, I think Malik Bridges suffers from having a team.
Mikal.
Right. I think he suffers from having a team.
Switch his letters.
I think he suffers from having a team they play pretty good sound team defense.
That's true. That happens a lot in this award.
You know, and I know voters tend to stay away from the, you know, somebody winning it 2, 3, 4 times in a row type of thing. So, you know, it's defensive player of the year, not the Rudy Gobert. I got to cry to get some sort of shine award. I personally think Bam.
He's got a good ring
You're a
to
Utah
it.
guy.
Yeah, I think Bam.
He's got no allegiance.
Yeah, I think Bam should have had a lot more votes, but like, yeah,
He wasn't in the
Marcus
finals,
Smart,
right? Bam?
Yeah, I mean,
No.
Marcus Smart has. Okay,
wasn't.
so this is where I kind of agree with some people complaining about the narrative that some of these voters do. So, Marcus Smart, his reputation is as a defensive player. Doesn't mean
His reputation is a pest, I think.
Well, that too, but that doesn't mean he's the best defensive player. Like his offense, as shown more recently, was not that good, right?
Correct.
And he knows he stays in the league for his defense.
All right, so let's move on to Sixth Man of the Year, which was Tyler Hero. Miami Heat, Tyler Hero. He won Sixth Man of the Year. How would you grade this, Steven?
I wish I could play that little rap song that I sent you guys from Tyler Hero when he's younger. He's thugging. I give it a minus. A minus.
Okay.
It's actually, you know what? For me, this was the quietest Sixth Man of the Year I've seen.
It's been a minute, yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
I haven't heard a lot, and he's been balling and doing his thing. I'll give it A minus. I'm not mad at it.
And Mitch, what about you?
Yeah, A+. I think it was a runaway. I think it's not even close this year. He averaged like 21 points or some nonsense off the bench. Yeah, very good. The like epitome of a six man.
And Sean, I'm going to save you for last because this is your guy. You go. What's your grade?
Listen, I'll say it an A+, but I mean, there was some serious slim pickings in this voting, man. Like,
that's a good point too.
Like you know who number 2 was?
Jordan Clarkson.
Kevin Love.
Oh, right.
Oh, he had a good year off the bench.
He did
though.
have a
You know who was number 3?
Yeah.
You know who number 3 was?
Why don't you tell
Cam
us?
Johnson.
You have a
Right,
list.
so it's not pretty, man.
You see,
It's not pretty. This list is not pretty. Who people had the chance to vote on.
all due respect, Kevin Love had a good, he had to change his entire mindset. I think shout out to Kevin Love this year.
Yeah, Kevin Love, he's an NBA baller, but
Everybody wrote him off. Finished. Cooked.
it's a slim list, bruh. So Tyler, congrats, but this is probably the easiest six-man award anybody has ever won.
And he'll never win it again because he's going to be a starter next year. So, Sean.
Well, I'm going to go in a bit of a different. No, I'm kidding. No.
Unbelievable.
Hero had this unlocked since game one. I mean, it was his award all year. Very well deserved. You know, and it was really nice seeing Kevin Love's resurgence. But I'm definitely giving this an A+.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Coach of the Year went to Monty Williams. How would you guys grade this one?
F. They failed.
Real quick for
they
this one.
failed on that. It should have gone to Taylor Jenkins. the coach of the Memphis Grizzlies. These guys didn't make playoffs last year, and they came second in the West with 56 wins, and you don't get coach of the year. While the coach who was second last year just got like 10 more games, and he's first this year, and he gets it. I don't understand this.
It's a makeup.
It's ridiculous.
It's a makeup from last year, yeah.
Yep.
And the team is great. Memphis Grizzlies are great. So it's a F. It's a total failure by the. Who votes on this? The writers?
Writers.
It's writers?
Media.
Fail.
You can't say writers, man, after we just gave a bunch of A+. Come on. They get it right, too.
I'm just answering this question. That's all. I said, who writes this? I said writers, man.
So
yeah, you
I'm gonna
your tone there a little bit.
I'm gonna jump in.
Go ahead.
Monty Williams, he's a fine coach, but in my opinion, I feel like
I said fine.
Pause.
Yeah, thank you. You go. Where are you, man? Come on.
I think Jason Kidd did the most with the least, personally.
Yuck.
Yuck.
Wow.
You know, but I'll say Phoenix did have a 700 winning percentage last year, and this year they have a 780 percentage. That is significant improvement.
Huge.
So he probably does deserve it. I've always thought Coach of the Year should go to a coach whose team finished higher in the standings than they were expected to. Dallas was certainly that team for me. I did not have them coming even close to fourth. So Kidd would have had my vote. I feel like JB Bickerstaff was in that discussion for a good portion of the year. The Cavs kind of limped to the finish line, and partly due to injuries to their all-star Jared Allen. But
they lost Garland. They lost Garland at the beginning.
Garland,
of the year,
too. Yeah, but I feel like the Cavs moved the needle the most from last year to this year. But you know, Monty Williams, you couldn't get any higher than he got this year. He did increase his winning percentage by 80, so I'll give it an A-. I don't think it's a horrible selection, and they were making up for last year too.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I give it a B+. I give it a B+. I'm usually not a fan of the makeup in any way, like makeup call, makeup award. I'm a fan of makeup sex. If we have to just talk about one makeup thing, I'm a pro for. But there's an argument. I agree with Steven. There's an argument for Taylor Jenkins here, and it's a good one. Memphis took a huge leap, but Monty should have won it last year. It's Coach of the Year. It's not a huge deal. I think give the man his award. Taylor Jenkins will get it next year.
I forgot who won it last year.
Yeah, great point.
But Mitch,
Who?
it can be
Anybody?
a huge deal for
Anybody?
a guy like Taylor.
Who won it last year?
Steven, who won it last year?
Tebow.
Pardon me?
Who won it last year? Don't pardon me.
He's looking it up. You're looking it up.
You Google fingers right now?
No,
exactly. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Pardon me?
Yeah. Taylor Jenkins will get it next year. It'll be fine. He'll get it next year.
Yeah, okay. I'll give it a B- because he should have got it. He should have got it last year. Jenkins, listen, the path is clear for you. All you have to do is take that team Memphis, get them back into the playoffs, and you'll get your award.
All right, you guys, what's next?
I'm going to call the ISO, okay? I'll get your grades, and then Mitch is going to go last on this one. Most valuable player, Nikola Jokic. To his closest. Ugo, what's your grade?
A+.
A+. Interesting. Interesting. And Sean, what you got for Nikola Jokic?
So
to his closest.
In my opinion, the best player in the world is Giannis. So I won't give it an A+, but I'll give it an A
that's not what the award is.
But I know, but I'll give it an A because Jokic was obviously a beast this season. You know, he was clearly the best statistical player in the game, and he led his team to 48 wins without Murray and MPJ, as we all know. So I'll still give it an A. He's well deserved.
Absolutely. And by the way, it's MPJ and Murray.
Stop that.
Just gonna say.
Stop that.
Are you going by order or order of missed games?
Order of importance.
Okay.
Order of missed games. Oh, put the boom bop bat pow in there.
I think Murray's missed more games. My bad. But hey, Steven, I think it's your turn.
I don't know. I'm very confused about this grading system for this guy because he's the most valuable for his team. And I know a lot of stars have been out for their games as well. You guys ever know any of those kids that got like that letter R on the report card for like remedial?
Whoa.
Because-
Wow, that's throwback.
boy.
They
Oh,
don't
boy.
do that anymore, bro.
Never
Never.
seen
getting
that.
spicy.
I might have to give Jokic the R. I don't
Wow.
know if
Pause
he
this
can
man.
read. I don't know. So
He gave him the
you're
remedial.
gonna have to explain why. You can't
No.
just
He's
say
not giving.
R.
He's not giving it to him. He's giving it to the decision. Let's be clear about this.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead. Explain.
no, I'm not explaining.
Oh, because you can't.
Wow.
No, I can't. But
Okay. Cool.
Even
don't have- don't have
worse.
time.
Next.
Okay.
Next.
Go ahead.
I mean, to drop a remedial is like, that's the boom bap bow
He's
kind
like
of.
one of
it's
the
not.
troublemaker kids. Like,
That's
he's-
weak. That's
He's
weak
hitting
sauce.
people in
Wow,
the back,
troublemaker
hurting
kid.
spines.
That's weak sauce. That's weak sauce. Are you
That's a
gonna bring
bias.
up? Are you gonna
His-
bring up a Morai right now?
He's
who
not
hit
afraid
Jokic
to-
first? Stop it.
Steven,
To be
Stop
a
it.
bully
Steven.
because his big brother will get his back.
Steven.
Expelled.
No, Steven, continue, but get close to the mic and continue. So we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. Get close. I'm gonna get close too. Keep going.
I'm close. Yeah,
Come
I was
on.
saying like,
There
he's
you
one of
go.
those kids in school. He's hitting people in their spines.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get aggressive with other guys and
Yeah.
who are his teammates.
Uh-huh.
Well, around the league, right?
Mitch.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if he can read.
Oh, right. Yeah. Can't read. Cool.
That's the thing. We call him a
Good.
bag of
Yeah.
milk.
Yeah.
It's like one of
Yeah,
those
bag
kids.
of
You,
milk.
He can ride a
almost
horse and
bully.
carriage.
he rides a horse
Uh-huh.
and carriage.
Uh huh.
But
Wake
he
me
is,
up when you,
he
wake
is
me
good
up
at
when you
basketball.
mention a basketball stat. Wake me up when you mention anything about basketball. Okay. Let's go. Keep
Well,
going.
it's war of
Keep going.
attrition. Other people were hurt. And
Keep
took time
going.
off.
Oh, okay. We're going back to that. Cool.
No.
You
But
done?
He is the MVP
Are you done?
of his team. I know that for a fact. I told you this.
He's the best player on the team for sure.
Yeah, like, we know that. So there's
Is
no
that it?
issues
Do you-
there.
Do you have anything of merit to add, or just you're just
Yeah,
gonna keep
nice.
talking?
We don't have time.
Nice little ceremony in
We don't
Denver.
have time. Accept the
We don't
R.
have time. You're right. Yeah, we don't have time. I agree. We don't have time for that. I agree. You done? Next,
Go
Ike.
ahead. You're gonna give
We
him
good?
an A+. We know. We've heard it all year long from you. Why do we don't need to even hear from Mitch? Just mute his segment.
Yeah. You can just
I have $100
all
on that. He's gonna
predict what
say
he's
A+.
gonna
Listen,
Jokic.
man.
I think he's gonna say A plus.
No.
plus.
This is Mitch. Listen, Mitch called this from the very beginning. So let's get.
No, he
let's
called
give
it
Mitch.
from
Where's
the beginning
Jokic?
of
Let's give
last
Mitch his
year.
moment.
Not from the very
Calling the
beginning of this
ISO.
year. Not from the
Last
beginning
year,
of this
he
year.
called last year. I'll give him credit for that.
Fellas,
Mitch,
boys,
where's Jokic from?
listen. This is start. Listen, this is a starting five. Okay, we're down by 3. There's 18 seconds to go. I need my basket. We need to get a bucket. I'm calling the ISO.
Not coming from
Mitch,
Jokic.
the ball is yours. Let's
Like
go.
that much.
Excuse me. Excuse me. As you all know, I've been passenger number 1 on the Nikola Jokic train. These parts,
Pause.
I couldn't be more. Pause all you want. No pause here. I couldn't be more thrilled to have seen the big Serbian roll up on his literal horse and carriage to greet his friends, colleagues, and loved ones to accept his award, troll shack, drink beers, celebrate like he wants to do. Listen, it was a closer race than last year, but that is not saying much. It was a runaway, and that is saying a lot because Embiid and Giannis both had absolutely incredible years. Great years. I am thrilled to be taking in this version of the NBA, a version where dominant big men that I never thought I'd see again. I thought this was going to be a perimeter-based game for a long time. I'm not going to say much more about it until next year's crusade when I jump back on this bandwagon the same way. But one thing I want to say, to everyone who trumpeted that Jokic didn't pass their eye test, so he couldn't be their MVP,
King.
stop telling on yourself that you don't understand what high-level basketball looks like, okay?
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. All right. Hey, listen, man. It's what we call a culmination. Okay? Yeah. Full circle, people. Hey, and by the way, yes, I know we didn't grade most improved. It's challenging to acknowledge most improved when the most improved player won't even acknowledge the award. See, John Morant didn't even bother to keep it. He gave it to Desmond Bain. According to my sources, Desmond Bain gave it to Jaren Jackson III. And apparently, he'll pass it on to Dylan Brooks, who will give it to Brandon Clark, and so on and so on until the entire Memphis Grizzlies team
Gives it
will
to
have had a turn.
gives it to DeJounte Murray.
Well,
Kyle
maybe if
Anderson.
DeJounte gets traded to Kyle Anderson will definitely get a turn.
Slow-mo will have his time.
They'll all get a turn. But hey, listen, we'll skip over MIP just like Ja did, and we'll bring this to an end.
Why the fuck I can't shoot 3-point shots?
Yes, this is yet the end of another episode of the High and Low Basketball Podcast. So thank you, Mitch. Thank you, Ugo. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Sean. If you haven't done so, subscribe to High and Low anywhere you find podcasts. I haven't mentioned this in a while. Actually, I mentioned this last week. Just leave us a review on the Apple Podcasts app or the Spotify app. It allows us, or it allows other future High and Low lives to find the program. Go to the High and Low YouTube channel for bonus content. Click on that bell and subscribe. We're on Instagram at Get High and Low. We're on Twitter and TikTok at More High and Low. So where can listeners find you, Sean?
Ooh, back-to-back weeks. We're first. Yeah, you guys can still find me. Please come find me. I need friends. It's Instagram at Sean_controversy.
Don't do that.
I need friends.
Don't do that, Sean. You're friends right here.
It's not enough.
Wow. Hey, Mitch, where can they find you?
You can find me basking in the glorious light of Jokic's MVP award. That's where you can find me.
I thought you were going to say something else, but you know.
You can think what you want. It's a free country.
Glistening.
Glistening, not glistening. Basking.
You're basking. Okay, sorry.
I got 47, brother. You can find me.
Ugo, where can they find you?
Still chilling, watching NBA playoffs. No longer in my dark space. I'm in the light drinking my rum. So, yeah.
Because Embiid's out. That's why.
Oh, I'm so happy Embiid's out. Yes, I'm going to celebrate.
Yes, sir.
That. I think I'm going to do the airplane dance or the airplane run when I'm in the office.
And Steven, where can they find you?
Find me watching more WNBA games.
Relax.
No.
That's not true.
Salaries just went up.
So,
Pause.
yes, because I'm watching.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Tell them again. I don't know what that has to do with
Oh,
me,
man.
I'm on Instagram, ESTEBAN_ROY.
Music you're listening to right now, that's by Live of the Enjoy Music Group. You can find Live on Twitter and on Instagram at LYVE. Music is also by Sonny Rockwell of The Goodness. You can find him. Nope, sorry. No, can't find him anywhere.
You can't find him.
Can't find him anywhere. Hey, sound design is by Vonn+Abrahamm, though, and this is a Vonn+Abrahamm podcast, just in case you didn't know. So on behalf of Mitch, Sean, Steven, and Ugo, I'm Ike Amaechi. Thank you for listening to High and Low. We'll see you next week.
Big yolk, big honey, big milk bag. Come get it. Steven, eat it.
That's nasty.
Bro, that's disgusting, man.